Hi, Lyssa here. I am a clinical social worker and I'm also a master certified coach, and I do a lot of coach education and wanted to just talk about something that comes up often in the coach trainings that I do and the mentor coaching that I do with professional coaches. There is a sense of not really understanding the structure of a coaching conversation and the different elements that go into making it the most useful conversation you can be having with your client. A lot of times people get a topic, they have a sense of what the client maybe wants to get to by the end of the conversation, but there may be some real disconnects on what is really important about this topic for the client, what's below the surface of the proverbial iceberg, and not enough exploration and curiosity in the middle of the conversation before they bring it back to what actions and accountability are going to move the client forward towards their goals. So I really liken the coaching conversation as a framework, and the coach has a job to do in this framework, and it's really to facilitate at the beginning and facilitate again at the end of the conversation, and then to allow their presence, their full attention, and their deep listening to show forth in radical curiosity in the middle of the conversation. So it looks like with the agreement setting at the beginning, where we are, what is the topic? What is really important about that topic? Often clients will bring a lot of topics forward, like I have this lot of topic, and it's a good opportunity for a coach to be able to go, let's narrow this down to the one thing that really rises to the surface is most important out of all of what you've just brought forward. And then what is important about that in this moment? So that the client can help you to take them below the relationship of the situation itself, like I want to solve problem A, into their relationship to the situation. Very often it will be something like, I want to talk about getting a raise, and what's important about that I feel confident enough to say something and talk to my boss about it. So it isn't about like, let's figure out ways to get you a raise. It's let's figure out what's impacting your confidence so that you can go forward and ask your boss for this raise with confidence versus not doing it, not following through, or doing it in a way where you may show up defensive because now you've got tools, but you haven't dealt with the underlying meaningful issue. So coaches need to really explore this agreement setting at the beginning, what this is about, what's really important about it, and what would the client like by the end of the conversation. By asking where you want to be at the end of the conversation, what we do is we create a link to the end. This is so useful because oftentimes coaches, especially when you're being recorded for a mentor coaching call or doing some sort of credentialing process, or you're in a class for development, we can get very much in performance mode and we start thinking we've got to come up with the perfect question. And questions really are about radical curiosity, but they're also not good or bad. They're really on a spectrum, though, of usefulness. And so is this a useful question or maybe a situational question? Situational questions can be useful at times, but they often keep the client at the top of the iceberg. They don't invite the client below the waterline to the things that are driving their motivation, which are then leading to their behaviors, actions, and outcomes. So this linkage to the end of what would be a good success measure is the client may say something to the effect of, I really want more clarity around my thinking, or they may say, I really want some tools to be able to move forward with whatever this situation is. Either way, what that does is it gives the coach this place where they can touch base throughout the conversation. How are we doing on moving towards the clarity that you need? Or what else needs to be explored before we move into capturing the tools that are going to be most useful for you? This turns it over to the client to name the direction. It's a great example then of partnering with the client about what's important to them. And so this space in the middle is really where we do the dance. It is maybe more of a box a box dance on the outside where we're facilitating, and it's far more of modern interpretive dance in the middle where we're really listening to the things that come up. Like, I'm noticing a pattern, client. What does that pattern, how else does it show up in your life? Or what does it mean to you? Or have you noticed this? And what is that for you? Where we're really inviting the client for getting that awareness that comes from inside of themselves. And this is where they end up having ahas. It's from those ahas that we can then go into what action are you willing to take to really support that aha awareness that you had in this conversation. What are those ahas? I may think I know what the client's aha is, and theirs may have changed through the conversation. They may have something different. So what is it that you're taking away as your ahas from today's conversation? What would you like to do to really hold on and develop that awareness that you have? Or what action will support that? Allowing the client to name their own actions. What might get in the way of you following through with that? They might say, I've got to create a little space before I have the conversation. All right, so now they've got another action that supports them there. And then anything else that you need for holding yourself accountable. And how does this relate to your larger goal? These things then end up being the anchoring support of the coaching conversation, with the playful curiosity, radical curiosity, and wicked dance moves in the middle. So enjoy your coaching, and I hope this was useful as you consider the container of a coaching conversation. Cheers.